have agreed to a mutual separation which involves the police chief's resignation from the city of Ferguson. The chief's resignation is effective March 19, 2015. This was a mutual decision both by the chief of police and the city's administration. Chief Jackson will receive a severance payment with health insurance for 1 year. Lieutenant Colonel Al Eichhoff will assume the duties as acting chief of police effective Thursday, March 19, 2015. In addition to our search for a new city manager, we will also begin conducting a nationwide search for a new police chief. As you are aware, 1 week ago today, the city of Ferguson received its final report from the Department of Justice. The city has been committed to and will continue to be committed to addressing each item outlined in the report. It is the City Council's goal to continue to be transparent as we strive to once again become a vibrant and diverse community. On a final note, I would like to say this to Ferguson residents, business owners, and to the entire country. The City of Ferguson needs to become an example of how a community can move forward in the face of adversity. We are committed to keeping our police department and having one that exhibits the highest degree of professionalism and fairness. I'll open it up for questions.
How much is that severance payment?
I believe his annual salary is $96,000, something like that. So it's roughly. Correct.
What can you tell us about the acting police chief? Does he have much interaction with the residents of Ferguson?
Lieutenant Colonel Eichhoff is rather new to the city of Ferguson. He did start in August, right before the events in August. Lieutenant Colonel Eichhoff formerly was at St. Louis County. I know that he has, obviously over the last 6 months, spent a great deal of time working with the people of Ferguson and also our police department. Our officers seem to have a very high degree of respect for the professionalism and the abilities of Lieutenant Colonel Eichhoff. And we are blessed at this point to have Lieutenant Colonel Eichhoff be able to take the reins while we search for the police chief.
Mayor, how long were you discussing with Chief Jackson the terms of his departure, and does a year severance for a 5-year employee seem like a lot to you?
Some of those conversations really are, employee discussions, personnel discussions. I think that it's fair to say that in many executive level, private industries, you would get
Mayor, the police chief was committed to staying in his job all along until the Justice Department report came out last week. Can you tell us a little bit about when your discussions with him began and what they were like? Did you have to tell him you thought it was time to go? Did he voluntarily say to you? Can you just kind of characterize how this process happened?
Sure. So, I think we've all been very candid for the last several months that we have explored every option, the manager, myself, the chief, as far as what would be the best way forward, how we can lessen the frustration during the unrest, how we can try to bring this community forward, bring this community together so we can move forward. The chief is the kind of honorable man who you don't have to go to. He comes to you when he knows that this is something that we have to seriously discuss. And so, after a lot of soul searching, and it's very hard for him to leave, for us to have him leave, he felt that this was the best way forward. It's obviously not only for the city, but also for the men and women who serve on the police department, because he is, and he has been committed to making sure the city of Ferguson keeps the Ferguson Police Department. The city of Ferguson has been committed to that as well. And so that was obviously also a lot of kind of this thought process when we decided to make an exit.
Mayor, you talked about how one to keep the police department. Have you all assessed at this point, given what the Justice Department wants from you all, will the city be able to, fulfill those commitments and keep the department? Obviously there's a certain type of financial burden that go with that.
Those are recommendations from the Justice Department.
Yeah.
Sure. So the city of Ferguson, again, is looking at all those recommendations. We are engaging, and we've already mentioned we're engaging consultants to tell us what that price tag might be, and what are those, try to tell us what realistically what we need to be working on. And so
What are your confidence that you all will be able to keep a good police department?
You know, we've already engaged several experts on these issues. Rough estimates and things, you know, going forward, I would say that we believe that it's something that we can do. So we're committed to making that happen, and we'll always make the decision that's best for the city, both financially and you know, for the future of the city. And so, you know, for right now, you know, what we're seeing going forward, absolutely, to keep the police department.
Mayor, you talked about the chief as being an honorable man, and many of those who protested outside of the police department, who talked to him personally, liked him on a personal level. But could you talk about and evaluate the job he did as the police chief after you read that DOJ report, that scathing report about how he ran the police department?
I mean, again, as I've said, we'll continue to go through that report and talk about where the breakdown was. Again, the chief being an honorable man decided that we need to talk about the way moving forward was with someone else, and so he left. But that is not to say that that's an indication of anything at this point. Again, we want to go, we have been going through that report and identifying the breakdown. And that breakdown can be at all different levels. And as we continue to do that, the important part is about how we can address that. What are the safeguards we can put in place? What changes do we need to do to put in place? And those are the things that we're focused on.
Is it fair to say the decision was made, the final decision, this is gonna have to happen, was made after the DOJ report, or did you already kind of know this was going to have to happen before the report even came out?
I think it's safe to say that all along we've said what is the best for the city. If you're asking, was the chief planning on resigning before that report, you'd have to ask the chief. Obviously, the decision was made after. But again, this has been in conversation with many community leaders, others in the profession, excuse me. And so I think it's important that we recognize that chief made this decision because he wanted to do this, in part, he thought it was the best for the city and for the police department. And I think the chief would probably be willing to talk about it more